There's a cemetery in Minneapolis that tells the lives of the 1800s in Minnesota. There are stories of illness, working class families, and also early African Americans who traveled here for freedom. One story in particular may put a national spotlight on the old cemetery. Known for his work on the Underground Railroad, William Goodridge is a legend around York, Pennsylvania. But this historic figure is also important for Minnesota, because he's buried here.
When I talk about William Goodridge and his place and history, I do put him equal to the Harriet Tubmans, the Frederick Douglass.
Kelly Summerford is the director of the William Goodridge Freedom Center in York, Pennsylvania. And he knows the Goodridge legacy and the Underground Railroad better than anyone. That includes the secret room in Goodridge's home, which you can still view today at the museum in his name.
It was an area underneath the kitchen. It was hand dug out. They would go down there and they would stay there for a while. He owned 13 rail cars, and one of his rail cars had a fake bottom, and one had like a fake wall where he could hide a freedom seeker.
In his later years, after his wife died, he moved closer to his daughter and her family in Minneapolis, where she was also active in civic affairs.
I would say out of all the people that we have here, if you're talking in terms of national prominence, he's the one.
Susan Weir has researched Pioneers and Soldiers Cemetery and the stories of those buried here, which include several African-American Civil War veterans.
Yes, he definitely was a slave. He was born in Kentucky. This is where the early Scandinavian immigrants came, but it also has a very significant African-American population, which is something that we're looking at now.
And it's something the National Park Service may soon be researching as well. And because of the history out here, there's an effort right now to get a research grant from the National Park Service for their Underground Railroad Network to Freedom program to tell even more of these stories.
So because of him, and again had a connection to Underground Railroad activity, it made the cemetery eligible for this program.
Elise Hill is the genealogist working on the grant. She's a St. Paul native who wants to unlock the stories of her home state.
In addition to William Goodridge, it's about 9 U.S. colored troops that are buried out there, but I only found one where it was definitely documented as a source that, yes, he was an escaped slave, but I suspect that there were several others too, because they were born in slave states.
This cemetery is full of hidden stories and hidden figures. And the storytellers will tell you the impact they still have today. Kelly Summerford witnesses it on a weekly basis when people come to the William Goodridge Freedom Center to see the secret room for themselves.
And it is very emotional to many people that come. There are some people that come and fall on their knees and start singing. There are also some who just begin to pray. And we have people who just begin to sob because they know what it represented.
And, you know, Harriet Tubman lived long enough to tell her stories safely publicly. William Goodridge died in 1873, and the Underground Railroad was still a very secret society, and he risked everything to save the people he saved. So he died rather quietly in Minneapolis without any fanfare. We traveled to York, Pennsylvania this week, and we'll have much more on William Goodridge and the accomplishments as well of his children coming soon.